Welcome to another video, and in this one I'm going to be going over a few, basically, I want to say pro tips. I hate saying that I'm a pro, but I have played the game since the beta, and sniping is something that I have done a lot. So I've got plenty of clips here that I've saved up over the last few months because I haven't made any of the filthy snipes videos. I've stopped making those because they weren't getting any views. So technically this is a sniper compilation video, but if you stick around and listen to what I'm saying, I'll talk through some key tips that I've learned and what's made me become a very good sniper today, and hopefully you can learn some of these and it will make you 1,000 times better if you literally just use these straight away in the next game you play. But so without further ado, we'll get straight into it. And to start with, I'll talk about all the things regardless of what settings you use that you can do anyway. So first major thing, which you'll see in pretty much all of the clips, something that I learned to do within the last year, and I never actually did it within the first few years of playing, obviously when it wasn't a mechanic that was available, and that is leaning. I don't do it all the time, but the best habit you can get into is every single time you aim in, lean to the left or to the right. The majority of easy kills you're going to get as a sniper is on people who are standing still, and the majority of people who are going to be standing still are other snipers. So other snipers who aren't going to be as professional as you if you use the leaning mechanic. If you aim in and lean, the other enemy sniper who is standing still aiming at you as well, they're not going to kill you first, and the chances are you won't do a 50-50 and you won't kill each other. So if you aim in and you lean while you're aiming in, that enemy who's aimed in as well at the same time as you in that sniper gunfight, they're going to aim in, even if they aim on your head or aim close to your head. If you lean, the chances are if they were already aimed on your head, they no longer are going to be. And effectively, basically, well, if I'm drawing it out too long, if you lean, it's when you aim in, you've got extra movement while you're already aimed in, and the enemy sniper or any player, no matter what gun they're using, takes them much longer to obviously get their scope on your head while you're already aimed in and ready to shoot at them. So maybe I've sounded that too complicated, but just practice leaning in while aiming in, and you will literally survive so much longer. You'll become a much harder target to hit, and you'll win so many more gunfights against snipers like that there, where that guy hit me in the body rather than probably would have hit me in the head. Tip number 2, I always pretty much use the spotting scope unless you're using a very close range sniper rifle. The spotting scope, you don't understand how good it is, or you can use, so basically obviously it's a range finder, or you can use the flags, or you can use the ping using the R1, obviously if you're on PlayStation, to find the range, and make sure you use the zeroing on the snipers if you've got it, so 75 meters, 150 meters, 300 meters. This effective, if you learn to use this, obviously a sniper is meant for long range. A lot of maps are going to be long range. You can maximize getting way more kills at range, and therefore using the zeroing of the weapon to those different range settings, it'll make it so much easier. If you've got an enemy who's at 300 meters away directly, which is kind of the sweet spot in this game, most enemies are going to be around 250 to 350 at long range. If you set your scope to 300 meters, you literally just have to pretty much aim on their head, and you don't have to account for bullet drop at all. And this is really useful if you're using snipers with really low bullet velocity and therefore have a lot of bullet drop. If you set it to 300 meters and the enemy's 300 meters away, it doesn't matter what bullet velocity you've got and how much bullet drop it has. If you've got the right range setting, you don't have to account for drop. The bullet will always hit where your sight is aimed. It's one of the best things you'll see, and there is one clip in here in this video soon, if you stick around, where I hit 300 meter plus shots just by using the zeroing of the weapon, and you racks up a lot of points, but you have to learn to use the zeroing of the weapon. There's a Filthy Snipes video I also made way back, maybe it was Filthy Snipes 8 or 8.5, something like that, where I had loads of 800 meter plus headshots, so you can go and check those out if you want to see about zeroing of the weapon. Now the third and probably biggest tip, maybe it's hard to learn and you'll find it frustrating and not understand why, But you'll see that a lot of the times I'll use a 6x scope with really high zoom. Plus, I'm already playing on low FOV as well, so zoomed in even more. But I'll use a 6x scope even on maps like Underground, where it's stupidly close quarters. Essentially, obviously, using the 6x scope, it makes the enemy look so much bigger, and therefore it makes their head so much bigger, and it makes a headshot much easier because you've got a lot more room to aim and get the scope or get the sight on their head for that headshot. So essentially what this does is, because you haven't got the high sensitivity and you're already zoomed in really far, when you aim in, if you aim in too far away from the enemy's head, the low sensitivity and the high FOV is going to screw you over, and you're not going to be able to aim to the enemy's head in time to get the kill, and you're always going to lose the gunfight. You're going to die because you're going to be way too slow and because you can't see what's going on. But over time, your aim is going to improve massively, and you'll see in a lot of my clips, when you aim in really, really close. If you're not already aimed in on the enemy's head, you're aimed in within a very close radius of the enemy's head. So you're not playing like a player with high sensitivity where you aim in miles away from the head and you drag scope all the time and you're predicting how much you've got to move the stick to get on the enemy's head. Playing on low sensitivity will make your aim very good, to the point where you aim so close to the enemy's head every time, all you literally got to do is tap the stick and you get the kill. So with the way I play, you'll see some drag scopes, obviously, where you do aim in, but that's more when you're at long range and you do aim in a bit off the enemy's head and it looks like a drag scope, but it's still really low sensitivity. So, but at close range, you'll learn to keep the reticle in the center of the screen, to center everything, and when you aim in, you'll get the scope as close to the enemy's head as possible, and essentially you literally just tap the stick either side and you get the headshot really easily. And that's how you can always beat most people in a gunfight, once you get used to it and once you practice, because the enemy might have their scope way off your head, whereas you literally are pretty much aiming in every time, pretty much always on their head, if that makes any sense at all. So a smaller tip you've seen probably once or twice in this video as well, is a lot of the snipers will do over 50 damage, and you know that if you do over 50 damage or around about that, when you go for a melee kill, it'll go for the execution, and the other enemy won't be able to shoot back at you, and you'll get the kill. So if you get pushed by someone on a close quarters map, or they just get into close quarters with you, obviously, and you're going to lose the gunfight because they've got an SMG or a shotgun, there's still a very high chance you can win the gunfight. If you use your sniper in hip fire, it is still quite accurate. It still is very accurate at that close range. If you just do a quick hip fire and go straight for the melee hit straight after, you'll be able to kill most people, even if they're using a Type 2A, a shotgun, a ZK, or any other close range weapon. So if you do get into close range and it's uncomfortable, don't switch to your pistol. Go for the sniper hit and then the melee kill first, because most of the time if you switch to a pistol, you still aren't going to have time to hit enough shots off, unless you're also using a revolver, in which case you're risking going for a headshot to get that kill. So it's much easier to just hip fire a shot and go straight for the melee hit, and that'll save you a lot of times in close range. And of course, if they're out of range or a little bit further away for the melee kill, just go for a quick scope shot, which you can't pretty much miss because it'll be close enough. Go for a quick scope shot, or whatever way possible, get one shot on them and do the 1-2, switch to the pistol, and you've got 1 or 2 shots with either a revolver or a normal semi-auto pistol to get the kill. Don't try and get the second shot off with a sniper, because at that close range it's going to be really hard to hit and get the kill. So if someone gets too close to you and you can't do a melee kill, hit them with a sniper and switch to the pistol. That's one of the most basic and common sniper tips anyone can give you, pretty much. Now, I've pretty much covered most of the main ones. There's still a few more different tips, but there's not enough time left in this video. I've got enough clips to make another one if this does well enough, and I'll explain some more tips, or you can ask me in the comments for any more tips. But the last thing I will cover in this last minute or so of the video is which side are you going to be attacking enemies from. Are you going to be attacking them face on, so when they're pushing towards you, or are you going to try flank around the back of them? The best thing to do is to attack them from the front rather than from the back, and this is because as a sniper it's easiest to get headshots when you're shooting at people who are standing still, and when people are shooting at you in a gunfight or shooting back at you, or when people are shooting in general, then most of the time they're going to be standing still, or they're going to be at a slow walking speed, slow enough for you to be able to hit an easy headshot. Whereas when you flank them and you're on the back of them, they're really unpredictable, and you're banking on them being in a gunfight with other people. So as a sniper, when you get really quick and you learn, trust me, you'll be able to hit headshots just so well and so much easier when they're in a gunfight or shooting back at you, because they're effectively standing still. So face the enemy head on and win those gunfights. I hope any of this helped. I might have talked a bit too much, but essentially the basic points are there. If you've enjoyed, obviously leave a like, consider subscribing, leave a comment on your favourite clip in this video, and I'll see you on the next one.
I don't think we grew up, we just became older. She's aiming her words, ready to fire. I don't think that bullets will bring back desire.